a chaotic council,
Again.
the Bela Bill, and a flash mob.
My name's not Chris,
I am definitely not Bomber.
and you're about to listen to A Week in Sedgefield.
An elk.
An elk.
An elk.
An elk.
Oh, an elk. It's a Monty Python thing.
Oh.
It's a theory by an elk.
I have a theory. This is my theory by an elk.
And
Not a specific elk, and just
no, her name is.
is an elk.
An
Okay.
elk. My theory, which is mine, belongs to me, and it is my theory, which I have written by myself. It is my theory. This theory, which I might add I wrote myself, is that dinosaurs are thin at one end, fat in the middle, and thin at the other end.
So that's
So there we go.
There we go.
I have no idea how to lead on to our first thing now.
Oh no.
I'm a little bit stumped, but that was beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Oh,
that with us.
anytime.
I feel like we can at any time ask you to pull out a Monty Python,
Or a Goon Show.
Yeah,
Yep,
Goon Show,
yeah.
one of those.
I have lots stored in my head.
Oh, we do.
They're stored in the place where other people store names of people.
And directions.
Yes, names and directions. Yeah,
Can't
that's
tell you
all
how-
taken up. Yep.
Can't tell you how many times Bomber has tried to leave my house, which is not, ridiculously huge, and has kind of got lost for a few days at a time sometimes. We just hear random squeakings about, it's Uncle Bomber again. Don't worry, he's on his way.
He's under the couch. Yeah,
But you're not easily fooled all the time.
I'm not. Good leading.
There
Good
we go.
leading.
I found it.
Well
I found
done.
it.
Yeah.
Because you got a funny email.
I did. So, I get so angry, and every time I get one of these emails, I
see
do.
you going red.
I do. Yeah. I'm fuming, and that's just because I didn't put deodorant on this morning. Every year I get an email from, I think it's the same people because it's the same modus operandi. See what I did there? So it's normally from something associated with the Yellow Pages or Telcom directories.
Business directory.
That sort of thing. And we get phone calls and what have you saying to you, will you repeat your ad? Will you do this? Will you do that? So every year I get these emails, and it basically the title of the email, the subject is free Telcom 1023 direct entry. So when you dial 1023 to find it, if you're too lazy to Google, you're looking for someone's number.
I haven't called that for all.
No,
many a year.
But it's very well. It's very well put together. It says customer details, company name, Edge the posh, eh?
That's
our
when you
telephone number 0443432415.
Got it.
Our email address, though this time they did drop an I
for
off
the
it.
info.
And then underneath it says free Telcom 1023 entry. And they're basically saying, please, can you just confirm your details for the customer company information in your listing? So, is your company name Edge the or the Edge?
Or the Edge?
Is this your number? Yeah. Is this your number? Is this your email address? Is all those sorts of things. And then you basically sign it and send it back to them. In the middle, there's that usual, these contracts have those usual blocks of text.
The lawyer speak.
Yeah, lawyer speak, rules and regulations, all that sort of, which we mostly avoid because, come on, who wants to read them? But every year when I see one of these things, I enlarge that text on the PDF. It's only a paragraph, but in the middle of the paragraph, it says, I have read, understood, and agreed to be bound by the terms of conditions on this contract. I am aware and hereby consent to have telecoms, Teledialcoms, 2023 Pty Limited, to charge me the amount of 12,000 Rand for the advertising services provided to my company annually. I fully understand the contract can only be cancelled in writing within 7 days of me signing, and I'm aware that there will be a amount of 50% of total contract payable for the cost incurred. I hereby consent that should I fail to settle the account timeously upon request, the service provider may hand over my account to debt collection company, who is a blah, 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 blah. So they're basically saying...
They just snuck it in there.
Yeah, your free directory entry, your free 1023, but in the small print. So basically, I think how it works. I mean, businesses in Sedgefield and that, it's theft.
Yeah.
But I think most small businesses won't get caught because you'll look at the thing. They might threaten to sue you or whatever. Yeah. But I think the larger businesses, what happens is the person who gets it will sign it off and say, yeah, that's fine. And then the invoice will probably go to the accounts department and they'll look at it and go, oh, yeah, he signed this and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
and
must
pay.
be fine. Whoa.
But 12K?
Yeah, for
arbitrary marketing somewhere, probably on a flagpole.
Yes.
Yeah. No, and they every year they send them out.
Yeah.
So it must be worth, and they've really done the research. You mentioned earlier, what is it? Do they cull email addresses off websites?
Yeah, so they scrape them.
They scrape them.
Yeah, so
is that what it is?
Yeah, you set up a bot.
Like horrible with a knife or something.
Yeah.
A bot.
And
okay.
It's kind of legally in the grey area. Because it's stored on different servers all over the world. Yeah. And you can relatively easily, let me say, get code that can just scrape information and data off websites, whether it be for real estate listings or yellow pages or whichever ones it might be. And then, I mean, there are good uses for that. That could be good.
Yes.
And then it fills up a database. So then what these people have, I would think, done is they scraped all that information, anything that you have, on the interwebs, which, by the way, would include Facebook and all those kind of things.
True.
Get your information, your data, and then have another automated system that just sends out these emails. Wow. And, it sends out to probably millions. Yeah. And then, all you need is a few. And then you made your cash
2%, yeah. And I mean, software the text, I showed it to you. I'm holding it up to the microphone now.
I mean, I
had to blow it up to probably 2 or 3 times about twice the size, and I can just read it. And look, I'm a little bit over 25, so maybe my eyes aren't quite
century
as good,
or two ago,
but I have got my glasses on.
Yeah.
On the actual printed out document, the A4 printed out document,
it's unreadable.
Even with my glasses on, it's just impossible to read.
This leads me on then to my campaign. Now, this is a personal campaign.
A personal campaign?
Yes, I'd like to talk about my personal
Not a camper van, a campaign.
A combination.
Yes.
Like get a camper van printed on the side.
Okay.
This idea of put your phone down and read the edge. So I had a bit of an epiphany when I was reading this last edition from last week.
Bless
I was
you.
sitting on my thank you. Sitting on my chair and just reading through it and realizing, right now, as I'm just sitting and reading this, I'm not distracted by a million other things going on. Not having my phone here by me, just being able to focus and think about just one thing at a time. And realizing, as a teacher, and as an educator,
yes,
I'm literally wearing a bow tie right now.
You are indeed,
It's a Batman bow tie, by the way. So, seeing with kids, one of the most challenging things in kids nowadays and with people nowadays is being able to focus on one thing at a time. Now, as much as people love saying, I can multitask and I can do many, many things at a time, you actually can't. Your brain switches between things. And you can kind of switch quicker, but you lose out, sometimes milliseconds, sometimes seconds. And your brain gets used to that, so it gets worse at focusing.
I see.
It's one of the terrible symptoms of endless scrolling. It makes you dumber. It makes you more anxious. It just makes you a terrible person. In fact. So that's why I think this. I mean, it was just, it was a great afternoon time settling down, just sitting with the paper and just reading it.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
There's more and more of this going around. This idea of returning to something that is kind of just focused on one thing at a time. My silly example for it is on cameras, which I mean you're sitting in a jungle of cameras right now. I've got old ones. And I think it was Kodak. Oh, I'm gonna get this wrong. I think it was Kodak. They've actually made a new film camera.
Oh wow!
Because there are people passionate about photography,
and they've got stock rooms of film.
Exactly. Yeah.
From the 1980s, and they don't know what to do with.
I've got a drawer full of it as well. But people love that. People love being able to focus kind of on one thing at a time. So put your phone down, read the edge. It'll make you smarter. And as my wife gazed upon me as I sat there in this glorious chair reading the paper, she was, if she had had a pipe, she would have brought it to me.
Oh, wow.
And she kind of there was just the comment from us of some things are always going to be cool.
Oh,
and
that's
sitting
good
and
to hear,
reading
good
the
to hear.
edge with a pipe on your man chair especially is always going to be cool.
There is a term for it. As you've been speaking there, I remember having a chat with someone who's kind of in the know about these sorts of things. I can't remember who it was because it's only just sprung to mind now. He talked about sit back and sit forward reads. If you're sitting back and relaxing, your whole posture is you are relaxing. So you're slowing down and you're reading, it's information that's there. It's not going to disappear.
You're not getting messages.
You're not getting messages.
You're trying to concentrate on this.
Your phone's not buzzing and whatever.
That's right.
And he said that there's a whole different sensation for your body when you're sitting back,
relaxed, just
as
hearing
opposed
about it.
to sitting forward and reading or looking at your laptop or whatever. It's kind of like going from work mode into relax mode.
Oh,
we're finding at home, because there's always that temptation to quickly check your phone before you go to sleep. So you're lying in bed and it's next to your bed because you need it for your alarm. And you're okay. I'll just quickly check before I go. And an hour later, you're still checking.
It's 3 a.m.
We've started now trying to read real, genuine, grown-up books.
What?
Like with print on them.
Yeah.
I had to install a bedside light.
What?
Yeah, so I could read an actual book.
I use my phone's light for our night light. We were also yes, absolutely. So read more. I think read more and get out more and support local. These are some of our messages for the day. Because it was this week that the Wednesday market opened up again.
I believe so. I didn't make it. I had something on. Like a jacket or something.
Yes. And nothing else. So I'm glad that you didn't come wearing only a jacket.
But tell me about it. I believe it was quite spectacular.
It was. There was a flash mob.
A flash mob.
There was a line dancing flash mob.
Oh yes, I'm glad you put that in. Because people think of something else when
Otherwise
they hear
you
about
would have
flashing.
been there.
I would have been there with my jacket. So a line dancing flash mob. Wow.
I'm sure that there are probably going to be a lot of videos kind of going around
of it.
But a good 30 people who had organized this.
Excellent.
And had brought along friends and family, and it was just such a cool community vibe.
Wow.
They just started dancing. It was 1 or 2 ladies. My wife was one of them. And then more and more joined in, and it was just really fun. They danced for 2 songs. They danced really nicely. It was just so happy, man.
Oh, wow. That's so
really,
cool.
Really cool. Yeah.
So very cool.
And what was also just really nice, just seeing that, everyone's sitting down before and after, having their frozen yogurt, having dinner. And it was just that. All of these people were supporting these other people who were fueling, literally, with food fueling.
Yes,
just looking out for each other.
Yeah.
I love that. I thought that was really, really cool. So we're looking forward to the next and the rest of them.
Yes.
And that leads me on to the business directory that you guys do.
Oh, yeah. It's another way that people can support local and get the support of local. We do a business directory every year, the where to find it in Sedgefield. It's called a whole lot of different things because people come into the Edge to collect their copy.
Yes.
And they come in and say, where's I want a copy of that. What's going on? What, the song? What's going on? Or
give me a key.
Where's it? Or
where's it?
Whatever. The Sedgefield What's It? Anyway, so it's called it's called the Where to Find It in Sedgefield. We do it every year.
Yeah.
All the businesses in Sedgefield that we know of are listed. So I wanted to put a shout out today because we're calling all the businesses to email us at the Edge, editor at Edge News, or info at Edge News, whatever the email address is, whichever one they want to use, to make sure their businesses are registered, because that's free. You get your business registered and free.
No fine
there is
print.
ad space, which is for sale. That's fine. That's aside from that, the listings are free, so that if someone's looking for a plumber or whatever, they can just go through and list. And this year, we've got it set up as a flip book as well. So people can put it on their desktop, as in not on top of their desk, but on their on their computer.
Ooh.
Yes, and flip through. So the pages, exactly as the printed directory, the pages will be on their laptop with all the ads and all that sort of thing. So they can just flip through and look for a plumber or do a search. It's searchable.
Yes.
Type in plumbers. If you want
I didn't know you guys are doing that.
So that's so it'll come out in December this year, but we're working on it now. So that's a shout out to all the businesses.
Okay.
It's only got Sedgefield businesses in.
Brilliant.
And this is all about supporting local businesses.
That's great. That's going to go a long way. I just want to mention to everyone, just please do check the fine print of whatever you're signing.
Yes, because otherwise you will pay $1 million.
Yeah, I've got a theory, you see.
This theory. Okay.
Oh, man. Hey, can we talk a little bit about the chaos of the municipal meeting on Monday? I mean, I suppose
meeting.
Sorry, the council meeting, on Monday that went down. Because it was...
Wow, it went down, man.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't listening to it live. I got a message from you, and it was, hey, they're calling law enforcement, man.
Yes, that
sounds serious.
Yeah. So, how the council works, as most people will know, but just in case there's one or two that don't, how the meetings work is they have the council speaker.
How the meetings are supposed to work.
Yes, how they're supposed to work. So he is elected. It's an elected position, like the mayor and the deputy mayor. I think the speaker is kind of the second highest position. Okay. But he is the one that runs the meeting. So he is the controller of the meeting.
The impartial, the one who's...
you may have seen the UK House of Commons or the Parliament, and there was a man, he used to shout, "Order! Yes. Order!" as they banged on their tables and whatever. Anyway, this guy doesn't shout. He does
shout.
He does shout. He's supposed to control the meeting, but we're kind of getting the feeling that he's not controlling the meeting. Sometimes he's over controlling. Sometimes he kind of, when people are trying to say stuff, he will not let them speak, and they kind of saying, but I'm supposed to be allowed to speak. Other times he lets chaos ensue, and then and there has been a couple of votes of no confidence in the speaker, but they never get passed because there's different coalitions and so this time they had put a proposal on the table. Is it a proposal? I think it is. And one of the opposition members, I think it was Jason White of the DA.
Yeah.
I think he's their whip.
They're funky music.
Yes, they play the funky music.
I think it's whip. He's not he's not the leader of the caucus.
No,
which we had said
I think
previously that was Ryan.
Okay. Anyway, so he stood up and he did an EFF thing. I don't know if you remember the Parliament. The EFF would stand up and say, "Point of order! Point of order!"
Oh man!
And he stood up and said, "Point of order!" Because he wanted to. Basically, they wanted to put a counter proposal on the table.
Yes.
But the speaker said, "No, we've already decided on this. We're moving on." And they said, "No, but give us the chance to put a counter proposal."
Yeah.
No, we're not going to. And then he raised a point of order. He said, "You've got to allow it."
Yeah.
One of the rules. So a point of order is like, these are the rules.
Yes.
And the speaker refused to listen to him. And he kept saying, "I need a point of order.
Yeah.
You have to listen."
Yeah.
And the speaker called in law enforcement.
Whoa.
I don't know.
The speaker called them in.
And I don't know. I mean, I was listening to it, so I don't know how many police rushed in, or if they were carrying batons or,
I'm
pistols,
picturing it full on SWAT. Like they were ready for some action.
I think they kind of came down from the ceiling on ropes. Yeah. Or gambled in or something. But anyway, they were called in, and they didn't remove anyone. And then all the parties, as they argued endlessly.
Oh man.
Then there was someone from the DA saying, "Hey, law enforcement, remove this guy."
It. In fact, we got a short sound clip for you, which sounds a little bit like this.
Speaker, Councillor Charlie is dressed in red, so I don't know what is happening. But I will ask. I hear you cry. Caucus to deal with
Speaker, point of correction here.
No, I speak. I have the right to speak, and I have the right to ask.
No, Speaker.
No, I don't speak on behalf of you. I don't speak on behalf of you.
They cannot speak on behalf of Deputy Mayor.
That's why I'm saying I ask. It's a very simple thing.
No.
Speaker, point of order. Can you please protect Councillor Lowe? He's got the floor.
No,
Speaker, the DA. No, you have the right not to attend. It is your right. Who says it's not your right? No, who says it's not your right? You
Speaker, speak on a point of order. The deputy mayor is. Please, can law enforcement remove him out of the meeting?
Till hell. So you want to be dramatic now?
Yeah.
Chaos.
And I've said it before, man. We've both said it before. Yeah. Can they not just behave?
For goodness sake.
Yeah, for goodness sake.
What we've been trying to think of is, and we spoke, a bit about football hooligans and how they've sorted out that, because that was also just an absolute mess.
Yeah.
And just trying to think, there've got to be some clever people out there. There has to be at least one clever person out there who can solve this and figure out, how do you get them to get along? There are a lot of personal attacks. There's a lot of personal ambitions, honestly.
Yeah.
And how do you get them to just get along with it?
Yes.
I mean, in the sound clip, I think it'll be in the sound clip. It's they're having an informal caucus behind us. Can they just keep quiet? It's like tattletaling, to the teacher, rather than being able to, as you would if you were had a shared vision of serving your community. You would be able to say to them, "Hey, shh."
One meeting, please.
Could you just keep quiet?
Yeah, it's just petty.
That's it. It's petty.
It's
so how do we do it?
petty.
My theory. I've got a theory. My thought is to get them to wash each other's feet.
Ooh.
Which is a drastic one, but we're in drastic times.
We are in drastic times. Hey, that would be good. Yeah. I like the idea of that.
Or yours was wear each other's uniforms.
Yes, yeah. I thought if everyone arrived in an EFF red set of overalls with a red beret on, or one of those construction hats,
just something.
It would just be funny.
That's it.
And it would.
Wouldn't that do something?
The atmosphere would change. Something.
Yeah.
The DA keeps calling the ANC and the rest of them the coalition of corruption.
Not helpful, man.
I understand where that's coming from, but I don't think it solves the problem.
No,
it doesn't. It doesn't solve.
Name calling isn't going to help.
And name calling. And look, I don't want to just say that the DA does it. Only all of them.
No, everyone does. Yeah.
Call each other names. They have a go at one another.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, perhaps when they step outside after the meeting, they get on well. I don't know.
I doubt it.
I wish they would do the opposite. I wish they'd go and punch each other on the street, but in the meetings,
sort it out.
Behave.
Yeah,
grown-ups.
Get on with it. Yeah. And I think it must be said, this isn't everyone. There are people, I'm sure, who are in there who we're not hearing a lot from because they're not the loudest voices.
Yes, yeah.
Who are really doing all they can, who have a passion for this, who want to see our municipality, Knysna Sage, all of us around, just doing well. And they're just being held back.
Yes,
by this.
I think so. Yeah,
and it's just not good. And we've seen with the GNU that there are possibilities of wins if you have differences of perhaps ideologies. But we live in a country where we're able to actually move past that.
Yes,
and we should be able to, with conversation, with the greater good.
Yes, absolutely. Look, I totally agree with what some of the politicians are saying. Rules are being broken.
That's true.
Parameters aren't being followed. But there must be a better way of sorting it out.
There's
There
gotta
must
be.
be some sort of compromise, some sort of anyway. Yep. Okay. We've
speaking
had our
of-
say.
Yeah, there we go. Here's our next say. Here's my next.
Okay.
The thing.
The thing.
The Bela Bill.
The Bela
Bill.
the
Basic
Bela-
Education
Bela Bill.
and Law Amendment. I think that's what it stands for.
Oh wow! I was listening to that on SAFM this morning.
It's a big thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was quickly pushed through before the elections by the
Okay.
ANC. It's been a bill and kind of back and forth.
So
for
what's
long
it a
time.
bill about? Ooh,
It's about basic
not a
education.
billabong.
A billabong.
It's a bill about.
Bongo bill.
What's the bill about?
The bill about.
Yeah.
The bill about is about education, and it's specifically about. It has kind of three main focuses.
Okay.
One has to do with saying that corporal punishment is bad. We agree. Yes.
Okay.
True
I
that.
don't even know any corporals, but yeah. It's also,
Let
yeah.
alone how they punish. And then the second one has to do around control for homeschoolers, and they would say kind of better monitoring that. It's been the homeschool community, I think, who has pushed hardest against it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
the main one that's sneaking through, I would say, I mean, I'm big on the homeschool
Yeah,
side of things,
yeah.
but the main one is that schools will be able to decide their language policies and a bunch of their policies, but, and this is their wording, but the government will have the final say. And that sounds dangerous.
It does, doesn't it?
That sounds
Yeah.
like, Sedgefield Primary or any of our schools, you decide your own policies and all that, but the government has the option to come in and say, no, your language is now this.
Oh,
and
my
and you
heck.
have to run with that.
Yeah.
And it's been this big move of the government to kind of have and exercise more and more control.
Yeah, it's a bit dodge.
Yeah,
bit
no,
dodge.
it absolutely is. And one of the why I think you would also hear it on SAFM is it's set to be signed, and it was announced to be signed on Friday.
This coming Friday.
This coming Friday, the 13th, by El Presidente, in his
Okay.
official title. So he's going to be signing it, but that goes against the GNU.
Yes,
That-
yeah.
That
so
seems to be one
so
of the big things.
What I was hearing this morning is, well, yesterday they were saying the Steenhuisen says they will pull out of the GNU if this bill is signed.
Yeah.
But that was that they backpedaled a bit on that. I don't know if that was the message that the DA were actually putting forward.
they've been
but
trying to
they
keep
were
doors
they
open,
were
yeah.
seriously challenging it and saying yo.
Yeah.
I don't think they said it quite like that.
Yes, yeah.
They probably said something like for now, or something. Yeah. But they were
Displeased.
they were displeased.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
No, it doesn't sit right. It doesn't sit well.
sit
It's-
right at all.
Yeah,
No.
so here's the thing. This is what's going to happen with it. If it does get passed, GNU, might break down and everything like that. It's going to take the first incident. And I know if it's on the homeschool side of people, of provincial overseers, not their actual title, coming into a home and saying, no, you have to do this, and trying to take a kid away from a homeschool environment, which has happened in Germany. So it's going to take something like that, or it's going to take someone going to a school and trying to change a policy, and it's going to go to constitutional court, and it's just going to waste a lot of money and a lot of time. This bill needs work. That's what the DA says. They haven't said, kick it out entirely.
Okay.
They've said it's not ready.
It's not ready.
There are good things in there, but
so it can be challenged constitutionally.
yes. Yeah,
but
it
these
doesn't
things
match
take
up with the
a lot of
Constitution.
time. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. That's what the Constitution's for, isn't it?
There we go.
That's,
We've got a
that's a relief to hear. Yeah.
That's it. But it could just get messy along
Yeah.
the way.
No, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I really hope it doesn't. Okay, but let's just bring it back a little bit to our town.
Our town.
Our lovely town. Any updates for us on our town, on things coming up, things happening?
Well, one of the updates, we mentioned the sad tale of the two young men who were had disappeared while swimming at Vic Bay.
Yeah.
And then they did find the body of the 17-year-old. Well, yesterday, I think it was yesterday, the NSRI announced that they had found the body of the 21-year-old.
Okay, so
they
found
actually
their
found it off the coast of Wilderness, actually.
Oh, really?
Yes,
no,
on
that's
Saturday,
where
the
that rip current
7th of
falls.
September.
Sure.
The police diving unit actually recovered the body 1.5 kilometers offshore. So they've been searching all this time. My hat goes off to these guys. Yeah. Imagine, how do you search an ocean for a body? And 1.5 kilometers offshore. That's a long way. Yeah. So
sad.
They were searching. Oh wait, it says more here. A group of paddlers came across it. Okay, so the police and unit, the diving unit, they collected it, but it was paddlers that
actually
discovered it. Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible.
9:15 on Saturday the 7th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This past
Saturday. Yeah.
Okay. Very sad. But just a big thanks again to the NSRI. We really appreciate them. What an organization. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I think a good message for us is listen to them.
Yes. Yeah. Listen.
I mean, I'm not saying anything about how that could have been prevented at all. I was speaking to one of the lifeguards who he works at Brenton on Sea, and he knows the Vic Bay rips, and he knows all of it, and he's like, Just be careful. Listen to the lifeguards.
Listen to the and most of these beaches, I'm sure Vic Bay included, have a sign on the beach saying what to do if you're caught in a rip current.
And they've got the nice graphic.
Yes, it's really, and I've actually been standing on the beach. Watching years ago. We rushed to the beach. There was a call for help, and we rushed to the beach, and there was two swimmers, a man and his daughter, and they'd been taken out by the rip current. And this NSRI guy on the beach was brilliant. He signaled to them to stop trying to swim in, and he somehow got it across to them to just drift over to the side, because that's what the rip current will do.
The rip,
and you're out of the rip, and then they could swim in.
Wow.
It was amazing. These guys were just blown away.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
And that's a... next time, let me tell you the story of that fellow that was rescued, because he turned out to be a German criminal at large.
Oh, no ways.
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Okay.
But that's a story for another time.
Yeah, we're going to have to start next week off with that one. I've got to make a note in one of my good organized systems. Okay, brilliant. You've also mentioned that there is a kind of support local networking thing coming up.
I'm going to get final details soon, but there's a movement to get to have like a big powwow amongst local businesses.
Ooh.
Yeah, and not a powwow as in smack.
Or maybe one of those big blow-up castles that's like a boxing ring with those huge gloves. Let's go.
No, this is just to get the businesses together to talk to one another and for people to make suggestions. It's all about getting businesses to support one another so that local businesses can provide better services, more services, what have you, so that locals will support local businesses better.
Okay, so
we talked about it last time. It's so important.
Yeah.
The story of the magical 200 Rand that goes from business to business to business to business to business. So I'm just, it's an appeal to businesses just to listen out. When we have details, we'll put it together.
Yeah.
But there will be I think in late September, there will be a sort of a call out to businesses to come to a function, to get together and talk to one another.
Nice.
It'll be good. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, we'll keep an eye out in the edge for that. We'll listen up for that. That'll be great. But otherwise, that's it.
That's it. There's a reminder for the Anything That Floats.
Oh, Anything That Floats.
That's coming up soon.
That's very soon.
That's on the last Saturday of September. So
28th.
I think it's the 28th.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's the 28th of September.
Cool. Oh, that's going to be awesome.
It's going to be really, really good. So we're calling on people to enter teams, whether it be 2 people to
14 people.
14 people.
You can float in that.
Yes, if you can get the Union Castle ship back in there, and no, you can't actually. Not allowed to use boat things.
Okay.
So you can make a model.
Something like that.
Yeah. So that's coming up.
Looking forward to that. That'll be fun.
Yep.
Brilliant. Otherwise,
so all good. Thank you very, very much. What a day it's been.